as well. Let's tell you all about it. Mumbai 26/11 terror attack accused Tahawwur Rana is being extradited to India on a special flight and is expected to land this afternoon at the Palam airport. Tahawwur Rana is likely to be produced before a special NIA court at the Patiala house in Delhi. And according to government sources, in India, a multi-agency team from India was deployed to the United States to bring Tahawwur Rana back. All the paperwork and legalities, they have been completed earlier on with the US counterparts, and this hugely significant development comes just days after Tahawwur Rana's last resort, last-ditch attempt to evade extradition to India. It failed after the US Supreme Court denied his application, moving him closer to being handed over to the Indian authorities to face justice in the dastardly attacks that we all saw 26/11 by 2008. Tahawwur Rana is a Pakistan-born Canadian national and close associate of one of the main conspirators of the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks, David Coleman Headley, a US citizen. Now, the central government has appointed special public prosecutor Narender Mann for the trial in 26/11 case. Meanwhile, sources have revealed that related to the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, which were called from Mumbai to Delhi at the end of January, have recently been received by the Patiala High Court. The trial court will now look at all these records related to the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, and this Patiala House Court is likely to be part of the evidence in the NIA case, which names Tahawwur Rana and David Coleman Headley as accused. All of those legal documents now with the Patiala House Court. Now, just back in January, Delhi's same Patiala House Court recalled its trial court records related to the Mumbai attacks following an application filed by the NIA requesting their retrieval from Mumbai. Now, this is what Pakistan's current statement looked like. This is Pakistan's first statement after Tahawwur Rana's extradition. Pakistan Foreign Ministry in a video statement said that Tahawwur Rana has not renewed his Pakistani documents in the last 2 decades. His Canadian nationality is very clear. Now, needless to say, Pakistan in its desperation is distancing itself from Tahawwur Rana. Pakistan is distancing itself because Tahawwur Rana is a Pakistan Army ISI insider who will now be spilling the beans on Pakistan's direct role in conspiring the Mumbai 26/11 terror attacks. Let's quickly take you through the on-ground arrangements as well. There are 4 vehicles of the Delhi police that have reached the Palam Technical Airport. One of them also has a signal jammer that is equipped with that vehicle. An ambulance has also reached the spot. 2 safari vehicles without number plates have also reached the Palam Technical Airport, and a bomb disposal squad is also on standby. In terms of interrogation, how will that pan out? Well, only 12 people will be allowed entry in the investigation cell built in the NIA headquarters. The investigation cell has been built on the 3rd floor. Only 12 officers, top-notch NIA officers, will have access to the investigation cell, and these of course include NIA DG Sadanand Datte, IG Ashish Batra and DIG Jaya Roy. Joining me here on the broadcast is Major General S.B. Asthana, defense expert, and Dhanraj Vanjari, former ACP Mumbai Police. A very warm welcome to you. You know, ACP Vanjari, I'm going to quickly come to you as someone who specifically dealt with the aftermath of 26/11. Is it more about closure now, or there are going to be more disclosures that are going to help this investigation go forward?
Your second line is more correct. It's more disclosure. More disclosure in the sense, when you say 26/11 attack has created 2 major issues for Indians. Number 1 is external security and number 2 is internal security. So as per the role of Rana and David, we consider together as a conspiracy. It has some facts to throw light on both of these issues. Because in 2006, Rana had secret meeting in Pakistan with some military officials and maybe some terrorist organization, LET, Tahawwur Rahman and that Saeed Hafiz. These things need to be unfolded now and in a proper fashion. No doubt we concluded our trial and we also hang Ajmal Kasab, but in that, these particular accused in this case is David, who is our witness of approval. And there is a long statement he has given. In that statement, he thoroughly denied having any contact and connection with Rana. But in a final cross-examination, there is an admission from his side that yes, Rana was informed time to time. Rana had only one visit, whereas Delhi had more than 8-9 visits to India, Mumbai, Delhi, all that places for the purpose of Reiki. So, ascertaining this issue, who is the main mastermind, who is the main kingpin, would be disclosed. But another aspect, they are supposed to disclose the connection of Pakistan, supposed to disclose connection of ISI, and maybe having certain light thrown on CIA's involvement too, because CIA is the agency who had advanced intelligence of this and had informed. But due to some lapse here and there, the proper operational measures we couldn't take. And I worked in Mumbai police. I was in charge of Kapparate police station where this Dungi was landed with the Kasab and all his fellow terrorists. I tell you, at first place, we never knew this was a war. We thought it's law and order or maybe gangsterism or anything. But after half an hour, 1 hour, we confirmed that it is something terrifically different. And I still have a pain to express this. Almost 16,
I'm sure,
including Mr. Karkare and our almost 26 people in uniform have lost their life facing this war. But there is a history being created. Tukaram Umle, when caught a live bomb, Kasab, with giving cost of his life, that is the example in the world. The first time.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, ACP Banjari. I mean, and you know, those hours, those dastardly hours back in 2008, of course, we've lost a lot of brave hearts, but that is something that none of us have been able to forget as well. Major General S.B. Asthana, defense expert, also with us. General Asthana, you know, of course, it's important that we are winning this war against terror. 17 long years, intensive legal battles, and now that special flight is going to be soon landing in Delhi. But it is important that everything goes down to the T. Are you happy with what's happening so far? The exchange of documents with the US authorities, there was a little bit of a delay, but the protocols that have been put in place, a special flight that has been taken, all the on-ground arrangements, are you happy with what's happening?
Certainly, I'm more than satisfied with what is happening as far as the procedures are concerned. This is a big win for the soft power of India in a manner that we have been able to get one of the masterminds from USA through extradition, which is a difficult process, which has been possible after a fair amount of intervention. And we need to thank President Trump also, because he lived to his promise. That's one part of it. Most important thing is that earlier, the terrorists who were caught on 26/11, either they died and only Kasab was available, and he was a low-level operator. So therefore, the information which we could reveal or we could get was of a limited value, that you can say a tactical value. This person can give us the information of a strategic value in a manner that he was a military officer in Pakistan military. Pakistan can keep saying what they want to deny their connections with him. But the fact is that he was a military officer as a doctor chosen to do a ISI job. Thereafter, he was given, I mean, this is a plot, and that is how the strategy works when we talk of agencies like ISI. So they did make him go there and then open an agency so that the travel is faster. The agents can come and go. He can facilitate the travel and he can facilitate the recce. And I'm sure we have the executed attempt is 26/11. But there must have been others also which he would have planned but not executed or could not have been executed. So there he can be a storehouse of plenty of information with which we can, number one, get the modus operandi as to how OSI is working against us, number one. Number two, as my co-panelist very rightly brought out, while being here, these people, whether Headley or him, would have been helped by a number of people. And Kasab wouldn't have known that much because he was a low-level operator. And these are the people who have actually set the stage. So I am very sure that there would be many collaborators in India who still would have been uncovered and who would have done this cowardly act and added on to this cowardly act who need to be uncovered. Similarly, when we interrogate such people, certain lapses also come out as to where were the gaps, whether it is in intelligence or it is in security or otherwise. Now, that also you learn a lesson and you try and plug that thereafter. So, getting a high-profile planner like him is a great credit to the agencies. The NIA and everybody is working very professionally. In fact, here I would also say that learning a lesson from 26/11, I think media should also go a little slow, because I find that whole lot of things are being exposed as to where he is going to be, where he is going to be interrogated, who is going to be interrogating him. I think we should be slightly careful in opening the news as to what I have been saying, because our commandos told us that Pakistanis who were...
Right, you're absolutely right, General. We need to tread carefully, and you're absolutely right. There's no need to take the names of all the top officers that are going to be carrying out this interrogation. You're absolutely right. We must tread carefully, but they do have a major task cut out for them now, don't we? We spoke about the on-ground arrangements, but in terms of details, you know, again, like I mentioned, let's not go into the names of these officers, but only 12 are going to be allowed to get inside that room. ACP, you know, how are you looking at this? Only 12 officers that are going to be interrogating. This is a specially built room. All of those details, we are taking this very sensitively, and we should be.
Yes, Major General Saab has rightly advised. Media appreciate. Media also will pay attention and keep cool, keep patience, and let it happen, because NIA is a very hard-working agency in this country. You do not know how many responsibilities been shouldered by one single agency at one point of time. Let NIA give proper time. Now, regarding interrogation, it's a big challenge for NIA to interrogate the international terrorists and criminal like Rana. Since the 12 people you said no names and who will be doing and who will not be doing, those 12 people must be from the operational units. They must be, some of them must be from intelligence unit, some of them must be from technical, digital, forensic unit, and I'll not be surprised if few of them would be from the psychologist fraternity. Because in such cases, the interrogation is not single dimension, it's a multi-dimensional interrogation. And that cooks up the whole story. As it has been rightly said, that we need to understand the real design, entire design of this 26 attack need to be unfolded. This is a time for us to learn, and not for only us, for the world. 26/11 would be a lesson to entire world, that if suppose there is a futuristic attack where they may use chemical weapons or maybe some bomb like, or maybe radioactive terrorism or maybe biological terrorism, we need to be very, very cautious. Our agencies need to learn all these new things, and I am very hopeful and confident that this challenging job NIA will handle it very meticulously, very systematically, and they will come with such a principle which will be the guideline for entire world. Similarly, one more thing need to be done in this present time. Global terrorism. Terrorism is not a phenomena connected to or remain construed with any country or any boundaries. It's a global phenomenon, and we need to define global terrorism inclusively, not exclusively, concerning to India or concerning to China or concerning to Thailand,
right.
Pakistan. No, inclusively we need to define. And I am another optimistic view on this interrogation, that this interrogation will provide a very systematic data to define the global terrorism with new dimension.
All right, then. We're going to slip into a quick commercial breather here. ACP and General, do stay on with us. We're going to keep coming back, and there's a lot more that needs to be discussed. General was just telling the media to be cautious as well, and we're treading carefully. There's no need to push the gun when it comes here. That special flight will land. All those details will come out in the open. No need to put those names of all the top officers that are going to be interrogating Tahawwur Rana. On the other side, we're going to talk about how critical it is going to be to safeguard that sensitive interrogation details from coming out into the open as well. Don't go anywhere.
Smash your way to glory at the News9 Corporate Badminton Championship. Get ready for the ultimate badminton showdown. News9 presents the biggest corporate championship, a battle of skill, speed and supremacy. Cash prize of 6 lakh rupees across categories. Venue, Pulela Gopichand Badminton Academy, Hyderabad. Dates, May 9th to May 11th. A chance to showcase your talent and make a mark. The court is set. Are you ready? Register now.
I need expert performance. I need my career.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. We're discussing Tahawwur Rana's extradition, 17 long years of intensive legal battles, and finally, India's war against global terrorism. Nonetheless, to keep the neighbors shut, well, we are a right step in that very direction. This afternoon at the Palam airport, that special flight is going to land. On-ground arrangements have been made. Interrogation is going to be carried out very meticulously. A multi-agency team was deployed to the United States to bring back Tahawwur Rana, the main plotter, the mastermind behind the 2008 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. Let's out this marksman car as well, because there are certain details as to how he's going to be transported from the Palam airport to this special court, from where his medical is going to be carried out, and later on we're all waiting for how Tahawwur Rana is going to be spilling the beans on state-sponsored terrorism coming in from our neighbor. Unfortunately, in 26/11 accused Tahawwur Rana, he's going to be brought from the Palam airport to the NIA headquarters in a bulletproof vehicle. According to sources, along with the bulletproof vehicle, a marksman vehicle has also been kept on standby. The Delhi Police Special Cell Commandos, they are also on standby. But then again, there is too much information out there. We must tread carefully not to divulge everything that is being done to safely transport this very, very crucial piece of the puzzle when you're looking at the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks to the special cell. With us on the broadcast is, of course, Dhanraj Vanjari, former ACP Mumbai Police, and we also have Major General S.B. Asthana, who's a defense expert. General, what we're learning, and this is breaking news that we're giving to all our viewers, is that that special flight has now landed at the Palam airport. We've been given to understand that that special flight has landed. So first leg of the entire journey has finally been completed. You and I, we were discussing about how critical that sensitive information be kept indoors. But you need to understand, everything that was happening covertly over the last 17 years, this is now going to happen in front of the public eye. There's a little bit of a difference here, and it will have a different sort of implications as well. When we're looking at this trial that everybody is going to be interested in, sir, General, how important is it going to be to safeguard the critical sensitive information?
See, the sensitive information is related to two aspects. One is his physical security, because we have to ensure that no attack is done, because given a choice, I think ISI would try to destroy this evidence and very critical evidence which we have got. So I'm sure whatever we are observing, the ISI also would be observing and reading out from all the channels as well as to what all information they can pick up. That's one part of it. Secondly, as far as, but I'm sure that our agencies are sufficiently strong, and they will ensure that no physical harm is done to him. As far as the emotional harm is concerned, it may also be happening. He may be having some relatives somewhere, and ISI can well put pressure on them as well to force him not to open much. I do anticipate that even during interrogation, he may not collaborate, or he may not give out. And a lot of techniques, I'm sure the agencies are professional enough to get the information from him. Also, the implications of, as far as the legal implications are concerned, what is important is that this is the first and most a high-profile case which successfully got extradited from USA. We have launched similar appeals for various other terrorists, like in Canada, like in other countries.
You're absolutely right. I was just going to come to that, General, because, in terms of legal hurdles, considering our sour tensions and ties with Canada as well, I mean, we are looking at a Canadian citizen, aren't we? Are there any possible legal hurdles that might come forward whilst we're trying to try this terrorist?
See, I don't visualize very much of legal hurdles for the simple reason because the evidences were credible enough, and that is why we got that extradition. If the evidences were not credible enough, then he would have got a savior, or he would have got a postponement or something like that from the Supreme Court of USA. So therefore, we have the credible evidences, but we need to build up on that to make a credible case outside. Secondly, we also have to show that not only firstly his trial has to be transparent, and it has to be shown as such and seen as such, and again media becomes important. That media will be covering that, I am very sure, and adequately, or his entire trials, so that the other countries also have a confidence that when a person is extradited to India on Indian request, he is given a fair trial. We have given a fair trial to Kasab, although it was quite frustrating that it dragged on for very long. But then the fact is that we did give him a fair trial, and all his options went off when he exploited all the options. Then only the execution took place. So the point I'm trying to make is that this will be a test case of a fair trial of the credibility of India in terms of the legal cover and the legal trials, and at the same time, again, a challenge for the intelligence agencies to get more information, not only for this particular case, and to actually get him justice and get the sufferers the justice, but also to plug the future holes in the system, if any, and to get a hang of the design, or get an idea of the design of the ISI as to what more they could do, and how more they could perhaps diversify the terror attempts which they continue to keep doing, and a number of them do get thwarted by Indian agencies as well. This is a test case. All right,
General. Pertinent points. Do stay on with us. My colleague Deepak Badana joins us from right outside the Palam Technical Airport. Let's quickly cut across to him, understand what's happening over there. Deepak, we've been given to understand that the special flight has landed. What's going to happen next? Is he going to be transported to that special court or somewhere else?
So, as soon as he arrives, the information that we have states that he will first be sent to the NIA headquarters, post which he will then be taken to the Patiala House Court, and eventually at the end of the day he will be sent to a quarter inside the high security Tihar jail. Now, a little while back we saw some visuals. There was a lot of buzz around Air Force Station Palam when people claimed to have spotted the plane which was supposed to land sometime around 1:30 and 2. However, there's no official confirmation on part of the security outside Air Force Station Palam. My understanding is that they're purposefully keeping them because it is a high security zone, and this is a highly sensitive case where security protocol dictates that the authorities are not bound to give all their details to the media. However, as the day progresses, I'm sure these details will come out. As of now, any moment, we expect Tahawwur Rana to be led in a large convoy comprising several decoy vehicles, bulletproof trucks. In fact, like there are 3 to 5 bulletproof trucks, one of which will ferry him. And there are Delhi police commandos, there's a special branch. So a whole retinue of security personnel have already arrived. They are inside Air Force Station Palam. We got the visuals earlier. And
what's the situation like outside the Palam, airport, Deepak? Can you give us a sense of what kind of security detail you can see right outside? Has the traffic been cordoned off? Is there regular vehicles? Are they plying on the nearby vicinity?
So Kabir, to the novice, it would seem like just like any other day at Air Force Station Palam. The only difference perceptibly would be the large massive media personnel who have shown up here. However, one must understand that this is by its very nature a very high security zone. There are CCTVs everywhere, there are barricades, there is already a whole lot of security arrangements in place. However, as of now, and this is as per a number of police officers that we spoke to, they're purposefully not doing something that might attract more attention, shall we say. So far we see less traffic, but we don't see any barricades as such. My understanding is, as and when the moment arrives, all those protocols will come in place and in operation, and the due process will happen then.
All right. Rana's extradition and India's fight against the global counter-terror narrative that India has been spearheading as well. Deepak, we're going to keep coming back to you as and when you have more details for us. If there's any movement, do let us know here in the studio as well. General, I'm going to come back to you. We were talking about how critical it is to protect this sensitive intelligence, but you spoke highly about how we had credible evidence in front of the global eye. It's very important because the entire world is going to be scrutinizing this free and fair trial. That is another task that the Indian authorities and the judicial system now have on their shoulders as well. We're now learning that Tahawwur Rana has finally landed. The wheels of the judicial system are now going to start to move. The medical, the presentation in front of the special court, and then finally that trial that he is set to face in Mumbai as well. Will Rana's interrogation now lead for a major diplomatic setback for Pakistan? We've already seen, General, how Pakistan has distanced itself from Tahawwur Rana, saying he hasn't updated his documents in the last 2 decades. His Canadian nationality is quite clear. Of course, there's a little bit sense of insecurity that Tahawwur Hussain Rana might just be spilling the right kind of beans against state-sponsored terrorism, unfortunately, again, coming from our neighbor.
Certainly, because there is a nervousness. Otherwise, India never asked for an explanation at this point of time. They gave an explanation themselves that he has not updated his documents. So their Ministry of External Affairs coming up on air and trying to disengage itself gives an indication as to how concerned they are because of his engagement with them. That's one part of it. Secondly, the Pakistanis have to be nervous on the issues of FATF because I don't think we'll make any futile effort to convince Pakistan. We don't have to. We need to convince the international agencies, especially the FATF and the United Nations, as to what they are doing. And in that context, Pakistan thought that they have done very well. In last couple of years, what they have done was that most of the terrorists who were UN designated, they tried to shield them or made them underground or changed their names and denied to say that they exist in Pakistan, etc., etc. But now all these things, this did give them some relief because they were on the hook of FATF. They were off the hook very recently. And with some more evidences, we will make a case to get Pakistan back on the FATF blacklist. So that is something which is worrying Pakistan, and Indian effort should continue to be to call out the terrorism being sponsored in Pakistan. As far as the other aspect is concerned, that Pakistan itself is suffering from a hell of a lot of terrorism. which is actually a result of their doing. Because when, as I said, that when if you nurture snakes, obviously they are going to bite you, and the same industry has turned the guns against them. So they are facing a fair amount of problems. That's another issue.
All right.
But notwithstanding that, we are concerned about this.
You're absolutely right. We have to have tunnel vision on Tahawwur Hussain Rana, at least for the moment and for the near future as well. General, let me also tell the viewers that my colleague Aditya Rajkol, Executive Editor, Strategic Affairs, joins us here in the studio. Aditya, the first leg of that journey has been completed. There was a little bit of a delay in the exchange of documents over there in the United States, but that plane has finally landed. What are we looking at next? It's a big red letter day for India's fight against terrorism and India's right foot forward in that narrative against countering global terrorism as well.
Well, certainly, Kabir, this is a critical milestone in India's fight against terrorism, and this also highlights the India-US cooperation and strategic partnership no better than now. In fact, I can confirm now that Tahawwur Rana along with the NIA team have landed in New Delhi at the highly secure Palam Technical Airport. This is adjacent to the Indira Gandhi International Airport, where of course VVIP landings usually happen for the Prime Minister and of course for the President as well. He would be taken to a secure location in a convoy of course the elite commandos of the Delhi Police, the SWAT commandos. There are marksman vehicles, there are armored vehicles and a bulletproof vehicle particularly for Tahawwur Rana, because his safety and security is of paramount importance to the Indian government. It's an achievement like never before that after 17 years of the Mumbai 26/11 attacks, finally one of the main key conspirators and perpetrators of the attack, Tahawwur Rana, is in the custody of the Indian government. The NIA is the elite agency collaborating with their US counterparts on this. And of course, he will spill the beans on a lot of activities that transpired between 2005 and 2008, how he came in contact with David Headley. Of course, they were childhood friends. Apart from that, Tahawwur Rana is not just a small fry in this entire saga. He is in fact somebody who is an insider of the Pakistan Army and the ISI. He was very much involved in the planning and the operations of the Mumbai 26/11 attacks. He was highly radicalized, and he also has served as a captain in the Pakistan Army Medical Corps, clearly indicating how deep access he has. And now we are told that while a lot of media, Kabir, is present outside the Palam Technical Airport, I'm pretty sure that they will not get a glimpse of Tahawwur Rana, because having covered in the last 10-15 years two such cases of Chota Rajan and Christian Michel, Michel coming from UAE and Chota Rajan coming from Indonesia, we of course did not get a glimpse because there are multiple gates that Palam Technical has. Right. Often they also use dummy vehicles. So it's very difficult to get a glimpse in such a scenario, especially when the case is such sensitive, and of course Pakistan would be watching each and every move of what's happening. But what will happen today is that he would be taken either to the NIA Special Court at Patiala House, or it could be a video. So it could be also at a residence of a magistrate where he will be produced, and I will see custodial interrogation and then get his custody. He will be taken to a highly secure zone inside the NIA headquarters, where he would be interrogated, puzzled over the next few days, and thereafter when he gets a judicial custody, he would be transferred again to a very highly secure cell of the Tihar jail in Delhi.
All right, so that's the process. But this as well, because considering you're somebody who covered the dastardly hours of the 26/11 attack back in 2008 as well, Tahawwur Rana's extradition is a significant step. It's a significant return. Are you looking towards more of closures or more of disclosures in the coming few days?
No doubts about that, Kabir. Many would say that it's 17 years have passed, ab isse kya niklega, what will happen out of it. That's not true. I would say that India has proved that India's fight and commitment against terrorism is of paramount, its top priority, and in this age of global terrorism, India has come out as a shining example of going after the perpetrators, even if it's 17 years that it takes. And often, it's said that, they have been in US prison for a very long time. It's 17 years ago, multiple governments have changed, ISI and Pakistan Army, leadership has changed, but that does not matter. The modus operandi, the agenda, the policy of the Pakistan deep state remains the same: to hurt India, particularly in Jammu and Kashmir, and also target Indian Army, paramilitary forces and J&K police. But I think Indian agencies have done a lot of course correction ever since 26/11. A lot of technology has also come to the aid. We don't see random bomb blasts or terror attacks taking place anymore. In Jammu and Kashmir also, an example has been set ever since 2019. A policy change, a paradigm shift on Pakistan from New Delhi has led to drastic reduction in terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir from Pakistan. The infiltration and radicalization are also at its lowest as of now. But Pakistan, of course, true to its aim, is trying to yet again instigate and infiltrate in Jammu region of Jammu and Kashmir and instigate terrorism in that area. But today the top focus, of course, remains on Tahawwur Rana. What I would also say is that Tahawwur Rana will spill the beans on the real names of the Pakistan Army and ISI people involved in the Mumbai 26/11 operation, the terror attack, and what were the real identities of people like Major Iqbal and Sajid Mir, who were again key perpetrators, who were coordinating everything, the operations from Pakistan. And Sajid Mir is this shadowy, mysterious figure which Pakistan claimed had died, and there was a graveyard where he was buried. But suddenly, after FATF and US pressure 2 or 3 years ago, Sajid Mir reappeared alive, and Pakistan said that he's alive and there's a due process of law that's underway and he's inside prison. Now we know how law functions in Pakistan. There isn't any clarity or transparency. They haven't really acted against terrorists in the past and are likely not to change their policy in aiding, sheltering and nurturing snakes in their backyard. So Kabir, it's amply clear that today Pakistan says that they have nothing to do with Tahawwur Rana. He's a Canadian citizen. He hasn't renewed his documents for the last 20 years. But this is plausible deniability. We know how ISI operates. We know how ISI actually plants people outside. And this was a fit case of a trained Pakistani soldier who has worked as a captain in the Pakistani Medical Corps, who was put as a ISI agent in Canada, thereafter in Chicago. And then he helped not only the terror attack in Mumbai, but also himself a week before the Mumbai 26/11 attacks, visited India along with his wife, and later coordinated terror attack in Denmark as well. And Denmark case, it's the Denmark case in which he was arrested in US. And finally, after 17 long years, here is this man. He was 49 when he was arrested. Today he is in his 60s, but the law catches up. And India, as I said, of the fight and commitment towards terrorism. There is political will, but above all, the Indian security agencies, the Indian intelligence agencies have long memories, and they have proven that.
Well, absolutely. We also have our colleague Deepak Bhadana, who's joining us live from outside the Palam Technical Airport. Deepak, over to you. What is it that you can help the viewers with? What kind of updates can you help the studio with?
So, in the past moments alone, since we started speaking right now, there has been a lot more frenzied activity around here. We've seen at least 3 security personnel, occupied vehicles which have just come out. And we are in, at the moment, everybody here is waiting with frenzied anticipation, because any moment now, Rana's convoy might come out of these very gates and proceed towards the NIA court. So, right now, it's the moment of anticipation. 17 long years. The fact is that process is being observed and justice will be served.
A process that has meticulously been carried out. We're looking at Tahawwur Rana, who's now been extradited. Aditya, his visit just a week before the entire place is something that personally intrigues me a lot. Why was he here just a week before that? Is there a particular aspect that you're waiting to be disclosed, a disclosure that you're certainly most interested in?
I'm pretty damn sure that, Rana would make a lot of disclosures once the interrogation really begins. He has to. It's been a lot of years and he has been highly radicalized in this. You would imagine by this that after the Mumbai 26/11 attacks, in a statement he said that all the terrorists who were responsible for the Mumbai carnage should be awarded the highest gallantry award of Pakistan. So you can imagine what his state of mind really was. Also, a week before, when he arrived in India and visited a lot of states, one particular location that he visited was Jalvayu Vihar in Mumbai. It's a society of Indian military veterans. And there are a lot of 71 veterans who also reside here. So in a statement to David Coleman Headley, Rana also revealed that he wants this to be a target location because he wants to take a revenge for the 71 embarrassing defeat for Pakistan. So this was again the kind of radicalization that Rana was under. He was personally choosing locations, doing recce. Personally also he wanted to ensure that when the Pakistani terrorists arrive, there is maximum damage and carnage and massacre that happens on the streets of Mumbai. That unfortunately happened with over 166 people dying, not just Indian citizens, but a lot of foreigners as well. But law finally catches up. It does take 17 years, but the wheels of justice move. And I think political will has been shown both by the Indian and the American government that they will go after the perpetrators in this case.
All right then, Aditya and Deepak, do stay on with us because we're going to slip into a quick commercial breather here, but we need to discuss how the interrogation is now going to be carried out. What's the significance of allowing only 12 NIA officers in that meticulously built special cell for Tahawwur Rana? A short, quick breather right on the other side. Top details on Tahawwur Rana's extradition.
Smash your way to glory at the News9 Corporate Badminton Championship. Get ready for the ultimate badminton showdown. News9 presents the biggest corporate championship, a battle of skill, speed and supremacy. Cash prize of 6 lakh rupees across categories. Venue, Pulela Gopichand Badminton Academy, Hyderabad. Dates, May 9th to May 11th. A chance to showcase your talent and make a mark. The court is set. Are you ready? Register now.
Well, a red letter day for India's fight against terrorism. Tahawwur Rana, the main mastermind, the plotter of the dastardly 2008 Mumbai 2611 terror attacks, has been extradited to India after 17 long years. There's lots more to discuss at this point in time. That plane, that special flight has landed. With me in the studio is my colleague Aditya Rajkal, Executive Editor, Strategic Affairs. Deepak Bharana, my colleague, also joins us from the Palam Technical Airport as well. Aditya, we were just talking about how the plane has landed, and at this point in time, the interrogation is going to be carried out. Some top, multi-agency names when we're looking at who is going to be carrying out the investigation. Towards the right sides of your screens is the NIA headquarters, ladies and gentlemen, and to the left sides of your screens is, of course, the Palam Technical Airport. Deepak Bharana, our man on the ground, tells us there's a frenzy of movement, but Aditya also tells us and helps the viewers know that it is going to be a lot of marksman vehicles, a bulletproof vehicle for Tahawwur Rana, and it is going to be moving at quite the speed. It's not going to be easy to catch a glimpse of Tahawwur Rana. But again, coming back to how the interrogation is going to be carried out, Aditya, 12 officers are only going to be allowed in that special room. The special room is on a particular floor. It's been meticulously created for Tahawwur Rana. What are you expecting? Because these top NIA and multi-agency officials have their task cut out for them as well.
Well, absolutely. And India has been preparing for a very long time. I mean, those officers who were young, for example, a young officer who was investigating and lead investigator for the Mumbai 2611 attacks from NIA is a senior, a leader and senior officer now in the RNAW, again looking at Pakistan and Jammu and Kashmir. So you can imagine how things are. Also, an additional commissioner of police who got injured in the Mumbai 2611 attacks when Kasab threw a grenade at a local hospital in South Bombay is currently the NIA DG, Southern Date. So you can imagine that all these officers have personally borne the brunt of Mumbai 2611 attacks, either during the attack or after during the investigation, and have been deep pursue this, trying to connect the dots and also tie up the loose ends. So I would say that the NIA, the Mumbai Police, the RNAW, the IB have worked in a very meticulous manner to make a tightrope case on Mumbai 2611, particularly against characters like David Coleman Headley, who is known as Gilani, his real name, also Tahawwur Rana, others like Major Iqbal as well. And of course the masterminds Zakirur Rahman Lakwi and Hafiz Saeed, who continue to get VVIP treatment by the Pakistan government even today. So I think the task is cut out. The interrogation will begin soon after his court appearance, and when a custodial interrogation is granted by the local court, will it be for a week, will it be for 14 days, we'll know more. But as of now, a lot of details will come out when Tahawwur Rana spills the beans on the Pakistan ISI's connect with Lashkar-e-Toiba and who all were the masterminds within the Pakistani deep state responsible for the Mumbai 26/11 attacks. One thing is amply clear, Kabir, that Pakistan's hand, which it was trying to move away and distance itself desperately from Mumbai 26/11, will not happen anymore. Pakistan has been named and shamed on terrorism globally, and even US now realizes that Pakistan's hands are deep in this muddle of terrorism, and America has chosen to support India in this fight against terror.
Getting their hands dirty for Pakistan, I think that's an understatement at this point in time. And that's quite rich coming from the Pakistan Foreign Ministry on the day when Tahawwur Rana was about to land in India. He has now been extradited. We're continuing to flash that breaking. Tahawwur Rana, the main plotter of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attack, has been extradited to India. Deepak Badana, my colleague, joining us live from the Palam Technical Airport. Let's again cut across to him. Deepak, over to you. What has transpired over the last 5-6 minutes, if you may?
Kabir, right now I'm outside the main gates of Air Force Station Palam, also known as the Palam Technical Airport. What you're seeing here is that in the last 5-10 minutes we've seen more and more of police presence. This road has effectively been barricaded, even though the main people here are media personnel and the odd commuter. So we anticipate, that the security arrangements are now being tightened, and any moment now we actually expect the convoy to come out. But as you'll see that the government is sparing no efforts and, leaving no stone unturned to ensure that everything goes smoothly. We are here to bring you the latest updates, even though there is a fair chance that we may actually miss the movement because of the, very complex security arrangements that have been made. But rest assured that the News9 team right here outside Palam Technical Airport will give you the latest as and when it happens.
Right. Many thanks, Deepak. Do stay on with us. Aditya, he's telling us that there is likelihood of the movement to be carried out very soon. That transportation from the Palam Technical Airport to the NIA headquarters is soon going to be underway. Is it going to be NIA headquarters or, the special NIA court? That still needs to be seen. It's not very far away, the distance, if you look at from the technical airport to either the headquarters or the House Court in the center of the national capital. We're still looking at some of those normal vehicles ply as well. Is there a special protocol that is going to come in place as well with a large convoy? It does mean that other roads, at least in centrally, are going to be shut and blocked and cordoned off as well, Aditya.
Well, Kabir, what I can tell you firstly, as I said that, media persons are unlikely to get a glimpse. And I'm saying this because the Palam Technical has many gates. And you don't know from which gate, he's going to come out. Also, there are dummy vehicles that have been kept.
Decoys moving from the other gates.
Exactly. So this is what happened when Christian Michel and Chota Rajan had come as well. I was a reporter back then with an English station, and I was tracking a vehicle of Chota Rajan and multiple, security cars chasing them. And at one point, they just stopped randomly after half an hour or 1 hour. And we realized that this was a decoy vehicle and there was no Chota Rajan inside it. So there are multiple gates. There is a gate where most of the media is standing. That's the main gate of Palam Technical. But behind where cargo happens, etc., there are multiple gates where from he could leave any moment or perhaps could have left already. What was likely to happen is either he is taken to an undisclosed location because it's a highly sensitive operation. Secondly, he could be taken to NIA headquarters because in the last two cases where the CBI was involved, the perpetrators were taken to the CBI headquarters. In this case, NIA has already prepared a cell, highly secure, safe cell with CCTV and access to only 12 officers who are related to this case. And there are arrangements also made in Tihar jail as well as at the Patiala House Court. At all these locations, heavy security has been pressed in. He could be likely produced at a NIA special court in New Delhi. It could be either in Patiala House or, as I said, at the residence of any of the NIA special court magistrates. So we'll have to wait and watch how things happen because this is a very sensitive and secret operation. I mean, I've been in touch with several officers of NIA, RNAW and MEA. Not many are willing to divulge much information due to the secrecy and sensitivity involved in this operation. But I can tell you that some of the finest officers are looking into this case, and it's likely that much more comes out in a few days or weeks from now in this particular case.
All right. Aditya, I did want to pick your brains as to what the role of media should now be, considering you've covered a couple of extraditions in the How soon should the media be letting out, divulging all of this information, considering the sensitivity of this case as well? But just hold on to that for just a little bit, because Maruti Madhav Roy, a survivor of the dastardly 2008 terror attack, is with us on the broadcast here. Very warm welcome on the show to you, sir. Tahawwur Rana extradition complete हो चुकी है, प्लेन लैंड कर चुका है, वो ट्रायल जो उसको फेस करना है मुंबई में वो भी जल्द ही शुरू होगा. Are you looking at more closure? आपको किस तरीके की फीलिंग्स इस समय आ रही हैं? 17 साल लंबा लीगल बैटल अब पूरा होता हुआ दिख रहा है.
सर हेलो, आवाज आ रही है सर मेरी?
बिल्कुल 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 आ रही है, बताइए मारुति जी.
सर मैं धन्यवाद देता हूं भारत सरकार को कि ये सक्सेसफुली अमेरिकन सरकार को कन्विंस करके ये एक नंबर टेररिस्ट को ये भारत में लाया गया है. इसके वजह से इसके पीछे ये कौन कौन लोग हैं इसका खुलासा हो जाएगा.
बिल्कुल. और क्या क्या आप उम्मीद कर रहे हैं इस पूरी इन्वेस्टिगेशन से? जो पुराने जख्म थे 2008 के, उनको किसी तरह तो भरना ही है. आप अपने एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में कुछ बता सकते हैं? उस समय आपने क्या महसूस किया, और आज जब प्लेन लैंड कर चुका है, तहव्वुर राना वापस आ चुका है, जस्टिस मिलेगा उन 160 प्लस लोगों को जिन्होंने अपनी जानें गंवाई, 290 प्लस लोग जिनको जो बहुत ज्यादा चोटिल भी हुए, उन सबको इस समय इंसाफ मिलेगा. किस तरीके की फीलिंग महसूस कर रहे हैं आप?
देखिए सर, उस 26/11/2008 में जब ये आतंकवादियों ने हमला किया था, उसमें कम से कम 165 तक लोगों का जाने गई है, और कम से कम बहुत सारे लोग अपाहिज हुए हैं, जिनकी हड्डी टूटी है, पैर टूटा है, हाथ टूटा है. मैं भी उस टाइम वो ड्यूटी पे था. आप देख रहे हैं ये मेरी उंगली है, मेरी उंगली के ऊपर गोली लगी है. ये जख्म मरने के बाद भी ये खत्म नहीं होने वाली है. आज उसी घटना के एक जो टेररिस्ट है भारत में लेके आ रहे हैं. जैसे कसाब को फांसी हुए उसी तरह फास्ट ट्रैक पर लाकर इनको भी फांसी देना बहुत जरूरी है.
तो फांसी आप सरकार से गुहार लगा रहे हैं कि तहव्वुर राना को फांसी होनी चाहिए. एक फेयर ट्रायल होना भी उतना ही जरूरी है मारुति जी. कसाब के साथ भी वही हुआ. कसाब ने अपने सारे लीगल ऑप्शंस एक्सप्लॉइट किए, उसके बाद ही उसको फांसी दी गई. एक फेयर और फ्री ट्रायल तहव्वुर राना के लिए भी आई थिंक पूरी दुनिया इस समय देख रही है कि क्या भारत एक नंबर 1 टेररिस्ट को 17 साल के एक्सट्रेडिशन के बाद क्या एक फ्री एंड फेयर ट्रायल दे सकती है? नहीं. आपका क्या विचार इस बात पे?
नहीं, अभी ये तहव्वुर राना को यहाँ पर लाने के बाद में और इसके पीछे कौन कौन मास्टरमाइंड है उसका खुलासा होना भी बहुत जरूरी है. इसके लिए उसको खुलासा होने के बाद ही, कंफर्म होने के बाद इसको फांसी देना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है.
2008 की अगर बात की जाए मारुति जी, पूरा शहर साथ में मिलके इन सब आतंकवादियों से लड़ाई कर रहा था. 2008 से लेकर 2025 के बीच में एक शहर की सेंसिटिविटी से अगर देखा जाए, क्या कुछ सीखा मुंबई ने? क्या कुछ बदला मुंबई में?
मुंबई में तो मुंबई के लोगों में बहुत जज्बा है. घटना कितनी भी बड़ी हुई तो उसका सामना करना उनकी आदत है. आप मेरे जैसे, आप मुझे देख रहे हैं कि मेरे को ये हाथ पे गोली लगी है, कमर में गोली लगी है, मेरी उंगली टूटी है, तो भी मेरा काम बंद नहीं हुआ है. मैं काम कर रहा हूं, लेकिन उनको न्याय मिलना चाहिए, इसका ही इंतजार कर रहे हैं हम.
आप फांसी की बात कर रहे हैं?
जी जी.
तो तहव्वुर राना को फांसी होनी चाहिए, ये एक सर्वाइवर का अपना विचार.
पहले तहव्वुर राना से पूरा खुलासा करना चाहिए कि इसके पीछे पाकिस्तान है या और भी कोई उसके मास्टरमाइंड है.
बिल्कुल.
उसका खुलासा करके उन लोगों को भी फांसी होना चाहिए, उनको भी सजा होनी चाहिए.
ये जो पूरा बड़ा नेक्सस है मारुति जी, अब मुझे लग रहा है कि ये सामने आएगा, क्योंकि NIA जितनी भी हमारी एजेंसीज वहां पर उन तहव्वुर राना को पकड़ के लेकर आई, ये पूरा एक्सट्रेडिशन इतने मेटिकुलसली कैरी आउट किया गया है. सब 17 साल से इसी चीज का इंतजार कर रहे हैं. आई थिंक जांच पड़ताल में कोई भी कमी नहीं होगी और हमें साफ जाहिर मालूम पड़ेगा कि कौन कौन इसके पीछे किन किन का हाथ था इसमें. मारुति जी हमारे साथ बने रहिए. We're going to slip into a quick commercial breather here, but like we've been discussing, there's lots more needs to be mentioned and has to come out to the fore right on the other side of this quick commercial breather here.
Smash your way to glory at the News9 Corporate Badminton Championship. Get ready for the ultimate badminton showdown. News9 presents the biggest corporate championship, a battle of skill, speed and supremacy. Cash prize of 6 lakh rupees across categories. Venue, Pulela Gopichand Badminton Academy, Hyderabad. Dates, May 9th to May 11th. A chance to showcase your talent and make a mark. The court is set. Are you ready? Register now.
Bharat welcomes the world to a new era of creativity. Waves, World Audio Visual and Entertainment Summit. Connecting creators through Creative Sphere. Wave Accelerator. Waves Bazaar.
Where stories, ideas and content go global.
Connecting countries through global media dialogue and Bharat Pavilion.
Shaping narratives and partnerships. Culture, cinema, gaming. Waves fuels the next wave of entertainment.
Connecting creators, connecting countries. Waves 2025.
आपके वक़्फ़ में एक भी नॉन मुस्लिम नहीं आएगा.
Waqf bill was passed by Rajya Sabha. Opposition parties had challenged the legislation in the Supreme Court. Can Mohammad Yunus be trusted because he met Prime Minister Modi? West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee met thousands of teachers and educators. Tahawwur said that it took 21 months for Bharatiya Janata Party to impose president rule in the state.
In a huge setback for bike taxi services in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu races ahead with 9.69% growth rate, India's fastest growing state this year. Good for Tamil Nadu. You may not be directly involved with what your son or daughter does, but your influence does well. My name is Sudha Sadhu.
This is India.
All right, visuals on your screens right now of the Mumbai terror attack accused Tahawwur Rana, who landed in Palam Airport this afternoon. Visuals coming in there on your screens right now of those vehicles carrying Tahawwur Rana to perhaps the NIA, where he is going to be in the custody of the National Investigation Agency. He will be answering some very tough questions in days and hours from now. He is outside the Palam Airport, where he landed just a couple of minutes ago. My colleague Deepak Badhana continues to be at the Palam Airport. Deepak, live visuals of course coming in there. Tahawwur Rana has now landed.
Good afternoon, Shweta. So, there has been a lot of frenzy outside Air Force Station Palam today. Now, in the last 10-15 minutes, the whole road was barricaded. The media personnel came right to the very gates. If you'll see right now, maybe some 30 meters or 40 meters from the main gates. And this is the very route that Tahawwur Rana's convoy will take. However, there was a false alarm right now. What happened was that the Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh had actually arrived, and a false alarm went up that the convoy was actually Tahawwur Rana's. I want to repeat this. Tahawwur Rana's convoy has so far, at least, it's not reportedly left Air Force Station Palam. We're still stationed right here, right outside the main gates to get you the fresh updates as and when they arrive. As of now, we anticipate the beginning of this journey to justice for not just those 160 people who died in 26/11, not for the hundreds who were injured, but for the whole country as a whole. This will be the beginning of a journey towards closure.
Deepak, tracking those details very, very closely from outside Palam Airport. A false alarm therein, not Tahawwur Rana. That cavalcade was in fact carrying Home Minister. In fact, I beg your pardon, it was carrying Rajnath Singh, it was carrying the Defence Minister there, and not necessarily Tahawwur Hussain Rana. But we continue to, of course, be on the ground. Our presence on the ground is marked by my colleague Deepak, who is tracking as and when Tahawwur Hussain Rana's vehicle exits the airport. What we do know so far is Tahawwur Hussain Rana, the Mumbai 2611 terror accused, has landed this afternoon at the Palam Airport. Rana is likely to be produced before a special NIA court at national capital. According to government sources in India, a multi-agency team from India was deployed to the US to bring him back. All paperwork and all legalities have now been completed with the US authorities, and that plane has now landed in India. This is a hugely significant development. It comes just days after Rana's last resort attempt to evade extradition to India failed after US Supreme Court denied his application, moving him closer to being handed over to Indian authorities, where he is going to be facing justice for his role in the dastardly attacks in Mumbai. Tahawwur Hussain Rana is a Pakistan-born Canadian national. He's a close associate of one of the main conspirators of the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks, David Coleman Headley, a US citizen. The central government has appointed a special public prosecutor, Narender Mann, for trial in 2611 case. Meanwhile, sources say that the trial court records related to 2611 Mumbai terror attacks, which were called from Mumbai to Delhi at the end of January, have recently been received at the Patiala House Court. The trial court records related to the 2611 Mumbai terror attacks are likely to be a part of the evidence in the NIA case, which names Tahawwur Hussain Rana, David Coleman Headley as prime accused. In fact, Tahawwur Hussain Rana is accused number 6 in that case. In January this year, Delhi's Patiala House Court recalled its trial court records related to Mumbai attacks following an application filed by NIA requesting their retrieval from Mumbai. Well, those are the latest details as far as Tahawwur Hussain Rana and his trial in India is concerned. Meanwhile, a statement has also come in from Pakistan, and this is of course Pakistan's first statement. After Tahawwur Rana's extradition, Pakistan Foreign Office in a video statement has said, and I quote, Tahawwur Rana has not renewed his Pakistani documents in his last 2 decades. His Canadian nationality is very clear. So Pakistan, they're suggesting that Rana is not a Pakistani national, and in fact has nothing to do with Pakistan for that matter. Needless to say, Pakistan is at the moment desperate, trying to distance itself from Tahawwur Hussain Rana. It is distancing itself because Tahawwur Rana is a Pakistani army ISI insider who will now spill the beans on Pakistan's direct role in conspiring against India in the Mumbai terror attacks. We continue to, of course, track those developments on ground. What really is happening? Well, 4 vehicles of the Delhi police have reached Palam Technical Airport. You saw a couple of those vehicles coming out. It was a false alarm. It wasn't Tahawwur Hussain Rana. In fact, it was a cavalcade of a union minister. In fact, we're also given to understand one of the vehicle that has reached the station, the Palam Technical Airport, the Air Force station, has a jammer in it. There's an ambulance on the spot. There are 2 safari vehicles without number plates that have also reached the spot. There's also a bomb disposal squad at the scene of Palam International Airport, where Tahawwur Hussain Rana has in fact landed. The latest that we know in the case is that only 12 people will be allowed entry in the investigation cell, which is built in the NIA headquarters for Tahawwur Hussain Rana. Let's talk about that case, that monumental day for India, which is today, when one of the prime accused in the 2611 Mumbai terror attacks is being brought back. What does it mean for people who've been waiting for justice for 17 long years? Joining us on the show is Maruti Madhav Rao Fard, who's a victim and survivor of 2611 Mumbai terror attacks. Maruti ji, बहुत बड़ा दिन है आज. तहव्वुर राना, जिनका एक बहुत बड़ा योगदान था, एक बहुत बड़ा रोल जिन्होंने प्ले किया था 2611 अटैक्स में, वो आज पहुंच चुके हैं इस देश और आज उनको आज से उनको कुछ काफी डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चंस, टफ क्वेश्चंस के जवाब देने पड़ेंगे, बताना पड़ेगा कि मुंबई टेरर अटैक किस तरीके से ऑर्केस्ट्रेट किया गया। कितने खुश हैं आप? थोड़ा लेट हुआ, 17 साल, लेकिन भारतीय सरकार ने सक्सेसफुली इनको वापस लाया और आज से ये लॉ ऑफ द लैंड फेस करेंगे।
बिल्कुल मैडम, ये भारत सरकार को मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ। उसके साथ में ट्रम्प सरकार को भी धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ कि उन्होंने अपने को भारत सरकार को सौंप दिया है और अभी आगे ही ट्रायल चल के फास्ट ट्रैक पर उसको सजा, फांसी की सजा होनी चाहिए। ये मेरा वैयक्तिक मत है।
जी, सजा बिल्कुल फांसी की सजा होनी चाहिए। मारुति जी, आप एक सर्वाइवर हैं मुंबई टेरर अटैक्स के, क्या आप बता सकते हैं कि आप उस वक्त कहां थे जब अटैक्स हुए और आप किस तरीके से जोटिल हुए, किस तरीके से आपको चोटें आई? क्या आप बता पाएंगे हमारे दर्शकों को कि किस तरीके से आपने वो अटैक सर्वाइव किया?
जी जी, मैं 26/11/2008 में मेडिकल एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट में सेक्रेटरी के गाड़ी को, तो जब इन्होंने यहाँ मुंबई में कुलाबा में फायरिंग चालू किया तो तभी एक टीवी पर न्यूज आई कि 2 गटों में फायरिंग हुई। बाद में सीएसटी के ऊपर फायरिंग चालू हुआ, ट्राइडेंट होटल में फायरिंग चालू हुआ। उसके बाद में मेरे को हमारे सेक्रेटरी साहब का फोन आया कि मारुति जी ऐसा ऐसा यहाँ टेररिस्ट अटैक हुआ है और अपने को मंत्रालय में जाना है। तो मेरा कर्तव्य था, मैं गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट है, मेरी ड्यूटी थी। फिर मैं सेक्रेटरी साहब का फोन आने के बाद में मैं यहाँ से गाड़ी लेके निकला था। जब मैं मेरे बिल्डिंग से गाड़ी निकाला तब ये कसाब और इस्माइल, ये दोनों आतंकवादी सीएसटी के ऊपर फायरिंग करके कामा हॉस्पिटल में आ जाते हैं और कामा हॉस्पिटल में फायरिंग करके आईपीएस दाते साहब के ऊपर ग्रेनेड डाल के कंपाउंड के उड़ी मारकर वो बाहर चले आते हैं। तभी मैं मेरे बिल्डिंग के यहाँ से गाड़ी निकाला था, गाड़ी लेके जा रहा हूँ तो मेरे सामने दोनों आतंकवादी वो सामने आ गए। वहां पर सेंट जेवियर्स कॉलेज है, मुझे लगा कि ये जेवियर्स कॉलेज के स्टूडेंट होंगे, बट उन्होंने मेट्रो के तरफ से आने वाले पुलिस के ऊपर फायर किया। तभी मेरे को समझ में आया दोनों आतंकवादी है। तो मैं इमीडिएटली उनके आंख के ऊपर गाड़ी चढ़ा दी तो दोनों आतंकवादी फुटपाथ के ऊपर गिर गए और मेरी गाड़ी फुटपाथ में अटक गई। फिर बाद में वो आतंकवादी ने गिरी हुई वेपन उठाया। उठाने के बाद में मेरे को समझ में आया कि अभी मेरे ऊपर फायरिंग करने वाला। मैं इमीडिएटली मेरी ड्राइवर सीट में पीछे किया और मैं नीचे झुक गया। नीचे झुकने के बाद में मेरे सर में गोली लगती थी, वो सीट के यहाँ से बाहर निकल गई। फिर मेरा ये हाथ स्टीयरिंग के ऊपर था, दूसरी गोली मेरे हाथ के ऊपर लग गई, उसमें से मेरे ये तीनों उंगली चली गई है। फिर बाद में 35 मीटर मैं गाड़ी रिवर्स ले लिया। रिवर्स लेते टाइम भी उनकी फायरिंग मेरे गाड़ी ऊपर चालू थी। मेरे लेफ्ट साइड के दरवाजे से मेरे कमर में एक गोली लग गई। फिर उन्होंने गाड़ी नहीं रुक रही थी, इसकी वजह से उन्होंने गाड़ी का टायर फोड़ दिया। मेरे टायर फोड़ने के बाद में मेरे गाड़ी के ऊपर ग्रेनेड डाला। ग्रेनेड गाड़ी टायर फूटने के बाद में गाड़ी एक जगह रुक गई और ग्रेनेड मेरी गाड़ी के नीचे से वो साइड में जाकर फूटा। फिर वो मैं देख रहा था उनको कि वो दोनों आतंकवादी मेरे गाड़ी की तरफ आ रहे थे। तो मैं मेरे मोबाइल स्विच ऑफ किया, गाड़ी सेंटर लॉक की और मेरा एक उंगली, टूटी हुई उंगली मैं सर पे रखा, पूरा ब्लडिंग हुआ और मैं मरने का सोंग करके मैं गाड़ी में चुपचाप पड़ा रहा। तो दोनों आतंकवादी मेरे गाड़ी के पास आकर दरवाजा खोलने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, लेकिन मेरे सर के ऊपर पूरा ब्लडिंग हुआ था। उनको लगा मेरे सर में गोली लगी, मर गया बोल के मेरे को छोड़ दिया। उसी वक्त मेरे पीछे से जो गाड़ी आई थी वो गाड़ी में हमारे आईपीएस करकरे साहब, कामटे साहब और सालस्कर साहब वो लोग थे। फिर उन लोगों के ऊपर फायरिंग करके उनको नीचे डाल के वो यहाँ से गाड़ी लेके निकल गए।
जी, ऑलराइट, जैसा कि मारुति जी बता रहे हैं किस तरीके से उन पे अटैक हुआ। मारुति जी, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आज आप जुड़े हमारे साथ। एक बहुत सिग्निफिकेंट दिन है, मैं चाहूंगी आप हमारे साथ बने रहें। ऑल्सो जॉइनिंग अस ऑन द शो इज मेजर जनरल सुधाकर जी, इज अ डिफेंस एंड स्ट्रेटेजिक एक्सपर्ट। मेजर जनरल, इट्स अ सिग्निफिकेंट डे टुडे, नीडलेस टू से दिस इज द डे exactly that India has been preparing for, waiting for. This is the day where perhaps some justice will be met to people like Maruti ji who've been waiting now for 17 long years.
Absolutely, Shweta. Firstly, good afternoon. Thank you for getting me to your show. This is I would say, golden day, not only for India, but for the rules-based international order. Like he very rightly brought out, that thanks to Donald Trump, had he not been there, then this legacy of delaying justice delayed is justice denied, would have continued eternally. In my opinion, this is a great, great achievement. Our top leadership is to be commended, and the people who have assisted. You see, extraditing a person from country A to country B in 21st century is a tall order. It's a very difficult. I have handled, not in NIA, but handled such cases. I have been in special ops myself, and I have all the empathies for Maruti ji and the way he's narrated. Hats off to him. We must actually honor him, commend him, and also compliment him for his narratives that he has just given out. But at the same time, Shweta, if you allow me, there are a couple of things which I wish to highlight. First and foremost thing is that for lack of correct expression, let me use, that he is a terrorist hardened kind of a convict. It will be very difficult to crack him. And applying my little military science knowledge, therefore, it will take a lot of time, because this man has already subjected to lots of questioning, lots of interrogation, lots of preliminary probing. So therefore, I fear that initially he is going to put our people in a spin with lots of misleading information. By the way, let me also tell you, your channel is one of the channels which is actually putting its finger on the right issue. This guy is, you have already covered that he is a deserter from Pakistan Army. He was connected to ISI. He was connected to Lashkar-e-Toiba. He had put up a facade of having an office, immigrant office in Chicago and Mumbai. But the primary job which was being done by these two agencies, or the front desk, was actually providing information and coordination. And Headley, he claims that he is childhood friend. These are all rubbish. This man must be subjected to trial. But trial in India there is a big question mark coming in my mind. It should not happen like Dilkush Nagar attack, 5 terrorists. I think 2 days back, I was in one of the channels. It happened in 2013, twin blast in Telangana, and the justice finally has come sometime in 2025. 12 long years. 12 long years, the public memory is very short-sighted. People like Maruti will stop existing. So where does he get his grievances redressed from? So therefore, we need to actually take this as a precedent case. Compliments, kudos to everyone. He's come to India. Let's try and fast-track the investigation and get him to justice. And the end of justice lies in the final judgment of the court without any delay. He will have provisions to appeal with the Supreme Court. It shouldn't happen that every time there is an appeal, there is a petition by the gentleman, the higher court has got the discretionary power to lower the judgment or the award of punishment. In my opinion, the old military saying, best terrorist is the dead terrorist. This man is subject to lots of data that he is storing. Our aim should be not to kill him, but to extract maximum information. Killing him means by subjecting him to delay in giving the justice. This itself is a very painful experience. Get the data of ISI.
All right.
Major Iqbal is one person I remember. If I take my memory back to those days, Major Iqbal was from ISI. He was deeply involved in coordinating every activity. Pakistan, there are multiple terrorist heads who are floating around in Pakistan. We also need to take this precedent case to narrow down and demand for extradition of these people by putting international pressure.
Absolutely. Sudhakar ji, I know there's a lot that you know we can add. This has been an ongoing case. This has been a call for justice for far too long. But you mentioned an important name. You mentioned Major Iqbal, and then there's also Sajid Mir and number of such players whose exact roles have not been made clear. As and when the investigation progressed and you know it met with various challenges on the way, perhaps it's time now, by the way of Tahawwur Rana, that we will get to the bottom of who was responsible for what. So perhaps the players will start lining up and we'll get some answers as to who was responsible for orchestrating that heinous attack, and Tahawwur Rana would be able to give us that understanding.
Yeah, if you're asking this question to me, Shweta,
yes,
then let me respond it this way. You see, it will be very difficult to extract. You require some hardcore, professionally trained and top of the notch kind of investigators to grill him and get these answers. Because whatever little personality card study I have done, he's an educated man. He's upper strata of the society. He's got military background and he's a deserter. He was actually deeply involved with ISI and a host of other terrorist organizations around. So he's into the business for past so many years. He all knows all the tricks of the trade. He will be able to swindle and mislead our investigators with false information. He will create such kind of clouds of information that our agencies should not get misled. Therefore, whatever details he gives, it needs to be corroborated, and thereafter we must carry out a kind of a concerted and calibrated operation to get those people who are additionally elsewhere in Pakistan, in Canada, in US. We need to get them extradited back and get the whole story, the entire narrative in place so that the ISI can be pinpointed, one, thereby giving an opportunity, ideal opportunity to India to actually blacklist or ban this organization. If the main tap from where the water of terrorism is flowing, it continues to remain open, then our country will keep getting flooded with terrorists.
Absolutely.
So therefore, close the main tap.
Absolutely, needless to say that. Yeah. In fact, let me quickly apprise our viewers on where the interrogation will proceed here on, since that is what we're talking about. There has been a special cell which has been built in the NIA headquarters. Only 12 people will be allowed there. The investigation cell has been built on the 3rd floor of NIA, and only 12 officers, as I mentioned, would be allowed entry into that investigation cell. These include the NIA DG Sadanand Datte, IG Ashish Batra, and DIG Jaya Roy. People who will be carrying out this investigation. Apart from these three, 9 other investigative officers will be allowed to really interrogate Tahawwur Rana as of today, starting today. I want to quickly, take a question from Maruti ji right now. Maruti ji, जैसे कि आप सुन रहे थे, बहुत आसान होता है टेररिस्ट्स के लिए, स्पेशली जो कि इतने जमे हुए टेररिस्ट हैं जिन्होंने एक कंट्री से दूसरे कंट्री जाकर भी एक टेररिस्ट अटैक किया इंडिया में, बार बार आए, प्लान किया, और ये 6ठे नंबर के सबसे बड़े अक्यूज्ड हैं 26/11 मुंबई टेरर अटैक में। एक बहुत मुश्किल आगे वक्त होने वाला है एनआईए के लिए इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर कर पाना, असलियत सामने ला पाना कि कितने लोग इन्वॉल्व थे। आपकी क्या गुजारिश रहेगी इन्वेस्टिगेटिव अथॉरिटीज से, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से? एक तरफ जस्टिस की गुहार है, सब चाहते हैं कि जल्दी से जस्टिस हो और तहव्वुर राना को जल्दी से फांसी मिले, जैसा कि आप कह रहे थे। दूसरी तरफ ये जानना भी बहुत जरूरी है कि कितने लोग इस कंस्पिरेसी का हिस्सा थे, कितने लोगों की वजह से इतनी जाने गई।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, पहले तो इसको सजा होनी बहुत जरूरी है, लेकिन उसके पीछे और भी कौन कौन है उसकी जानकारी लेना भी बहुत जरूरी है। इसके लिए फ्री ट्रायल में केस चलनी भी जरूरी है, और मैं तो कहता हूं उसके पीछे कौन कौन है, इससे और टाइम लगा तो भी चलेगा, लेकिन और कौन कौन है, पाकिस्तान में कौन बैठे हैं, उसके मास्टरमाइंड कौन है, उसको ढूंढना भी बहुत जरूरी है।
मारुति जी बने रहिए हमारे साथ। लोकनाथ बेहरा, IPS retired DG Kerala, also joining us. Loknath, sir, thank you very much for taking time out. I think, since we are discussing the extradition of Tahawwur Rana, and we were also discussing how difficult it is going to be for the police, for the NIA, and for the authorities to really get Tahawwur Rana talking, and for him to be giving out details which will be important for India to finally assimilate and put together a dossier of people who were actually responsible, people whose roles are not yet clear, people who were a part of that larger conspiracy. How difficult a challenge is it going to be for NIA to get Tahawwur Rana speaking, and what are the likely methods they're going to use?
See, the extradition was the most difficult part. You must agree with one thing, that in 2011 in NIA we had charge sheeted him in a Delhi court. And it took a long time because the extradition is a difficult process. And in that way, we have got it. Now, after getting that, what you are talking about, it will be difficult for the interrogators or the investigating agencies. I don't fully agree, because remaining investigator for a very long time, there are various methodologies available with professional investigator to make people speak. It is, and the best part is that during this course of time, long years, they have collected a large number of information which will come handy in opening up this guy. So, to know the larger conspiracy, if there were other players here in India as well as outside, that will have to be done. That actually, and it will be done. And I am 100% sure professional agencies like National Investigation Agency or the Mumbai Crime Branch, they'll do a good job. And they will know actually. Only thing I just always feel about Rana is that many of the things about Rana we do not know. And many, because we didn't have any access to him during the course of investigation, unlike we got it for Headley. So it is, we should hope for the best, and we should be actually very optimistic and get the best out of him and verify those things, collect those information, turn them into evidence, convert them into evidence, and prosecute him successfully. That is what is to be done.
Loknath Behra, please stay with us. We'll try and get you back with a better frame. Sudhakar ji is with us right now. Sudhakar ji, you heard what Mr. Behra had to say. NIA will have the right strategies and tools to get Rana speaking. But I think it's also important to know more about the man. While we know that he was responsible, responsible for facilitating the travel and stay of David Headley, and he himself visited India to recce the locations that they were hoping to attack. We don't know very little of the man himself. We know that he served in Pakistani army as a doctor. He then moved to Canada. He got Canadian citizenship and then subsequently moved to the US. But to what extent was he involved? I think those questions would also be important to get answered.
Shweta, firstly, must compliment the DG Loknath Behra ji. He has articulated his wisdom in a very effective manner. I agree with him 100%. But the hallmark of any head in a critical situation like this lies in anticipating the contingency plans. You see, any soldier will be called as an effective and successful soldier provided he is able to overcome the contingencies. So therefore, by no means am I trying to undermine or decry the capability and the efficiency of the NIA or any of the agencies. It is a discussion that we are having in your channel, and it's a thought which is coming to the mind. Come what may, we should put in our heart and soul in such a manner that this man is taken to task. That is what I mean to say. And for that, we all need to be prepared for. Now, coming to your moot question, which you are asking. Absolutely, very sharp and intelligent question. I must compliment you once again, because breaking a person like of his stature, who is a terrorist hardened, not battle hardened, terrorist hardened. That means he is into the intricate business of terrorism everywhere, be it Pakistan or be it elsewhere in the world, and carrying out attacks on against India. And there is a collaborative effort which has gone in. As per my understanding and very limited research, I am a student of geopolitics and strategy and security. This man had the details of the entire building, the Taj Hotel. This man knew which route to be taken by the terrorist squad. This man is also one of the few who knew the routing from which room, which floor to which floor will facilitate the speedy operation and neutralize the inmates inside the hotel. This man also facilitated the logistics, that is the route of exit infiltration, route of embarking on the banks of, say, the Arabian Sea, near Mumbai, and thereafter from there getting close to the staging point, from staging point to the hotel, and thereafter penetrating into the hotel. Right. You take it that he knew everything. Only idea, only main issue is, I won't recommend the mutt and Jeff. The professionals are there. They are the best people to judge what technique is to be taken out. But one issue is that the intent and the judgment. Intent has to be established. Yes, he is the man who was the mastermind behind all this. And thereafter, I think we should follow it up, pursue in earnest, so that the fast tracking of the justice is actually meted out to this man and is taken to task.
Absolutely, Sudhakarji. Justice needs to be fast-tracked right now. It's been 17 years too late, but nonetheless, justice finally, hopefully, will be meted out to the survivors of that attack. Maruti ji continues to be with us. Loknath Behera is also back with us. Loknath Behera, sir, you've spoken to David Headley. You are a man who's spoken to David Headley to really understand his role in the US as far as that Mumbai terror attack is concerned. What more insights can you really give us on what was the role of Tahawwur, and who are the people perhaps that Tahawwur Rana can really talk about and clear their roles and responsibilities in the terror attacks?
Well, actually, you know that the background is that both of them were friends and they studied from the same college. And you know the role of David Coleman Headley because his detailed interrogation report is in public domain. So, what if you see that he has already told about Tahawwur Rana, how he helped him in his visits to India. In fact, Rana floated a company and to work there as an employee, he came here so that there was no suspicion. All these things are there. But the question here is that whether these people were only limited to a particular planning of the Mumbai attack or they were actually planning something else. See, if you correctly remember, that that time when this particular matter was getting
all right, I think we've lost the line there with Mr. Loknath Behera ji, but coming back to Maruti ji, I think you're hearing the plan that was put in place, the vicious plan that was put in place to kill more than 100 people, injure more than 290 people. You're one among those survivors who managed to survive those heinous attacks. And it's going to be a tough task for the government. For last 17 years now, they have been planning and preparing for this, some of those people extradited to India who were responsible for those attacks, who were the masterminds of those attacks. And before I let you go, I have to ask you, what are you feeling today? Are you feeling that justice has been served to you, that there is some hope at the end of that tunnel? क्या आपको लगता है कुछ hope, कुछ आशा की किरण आपको दिख रही है? मारुति जी?
बिल्कुल मैडम, हेलो, बिल्कुल आशा है और उसकी ये जल्दी उसके पीछे कौन कौन लोग हैं उसका खुलासा हो जाएगा और उसके बाद में इसको फास्ट ट्रैक कर लाकर फांसी भी हो जाएगी और बहुत सारी आशा है। ये भारत सरकार ने अच्छा निर्णय लिया है और इसके सक्सेसफुल की वजह से उनको मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ।
Maruti ji, obviously thankful there, just like so many other Indians are at the moment who are and have been waiting for years and years now. I'm not sure if Loknath Behera ji is back with us. If he is, sir, you were talking about how you were one who was responsible for also speaking to David Coleman Headley, and you heard him speaking live. We only heard some of his interrogations later. We read about it in papers. And what was your sense of how deep the planning was? How many more people were involved? He of course also spoke about the role that Tahawwur Rana had in facilitating some of those visits of Coleman Headley to India. But beyond what we know in papers, what can you share with our audience of having spoken to the man directly who was responsible for masterminding that attack?
There are certain names which came up during the investigation. But whether there were some other players, both in our country or outside, it has to be actually found out. So there are some non-clarity in the matters of conspiracy during the investigation, what we found. So this guy can always tell us that something more about their handlers across the border. They are actually, what are their plans, the sources of funding, and whether there were actually any local support. These are very crucial, which are there in the minds of the people from the very beginning. Answers could not be given because we could not actually access Rana like we did it for Headley. So whatever Headley knew, we could extract it maximum. And the same thing has to happen for Rana. Rana is a very important person because a facilitator is our experience says that knows more. So he has to tell us whether who are the supporters and how could he actually do this. He was traveling quite a bit in India, from going one place to the other in the garb of doing recruitment. Whether that was his front end or whether there is something back of his in mind, this has to be found out by the investigators. Let us hope for the best. Now what is happened, India has done a very good, tremendous job. All the agencies, MHA, everybody has to be complimented. But the question is that now the challenge lies to, extract maximum information, convert them to evidence and prosecute this man correctly, and so that the maximum punishment can be given. That is the challenge right now.
Mr. Behra, we also heard from Pakistan right now, and their foreign ministry is trying to wish away whether Rana has any ties or had any ties with Pakistan at all. They're saying that he never really came back to Pakistan. His citizenship is very clear. It's Canadian citizenship, and he hasn't relinquished Canadian citizenship. He's not a Pakistani person. He's not a Pakistani agent whatsoever. But I believe Rana could also throw some light on what was the role of Pakistan in really orchestrating that attack beyond what we already know.
See, that is what I say. I'm not actually telling anything relating to what you said in the part one of your question. See, the question is that their information is power. Information has to be collected. There were a number of calls from Rana's phone to Pakistan. So there are so many things are there. So I cannot say that whether what kind of link he was having with Pakistan and other things, that the investigators only they will call out and they'll extract maximum information. Then they will only say that, look, this is the people who are connected. It will be too premature to just give a conjectural statement that this is what, this is not or not. Let the investigator do the job and collect the maximum information to implicate any person, whether he is in Pakistan or any other place.
Mr. Behra, I think it's also right now for our viewers, benefit of our viewers, important to understand whether at any point of time in the near or distant future, will India be able to extradite David Coleman Headley?
It is legally not possible right now because the American law of plea bargaining, he has invoked it in the year 2010, 2010 or 2011. The plea bargaining clause, actually, he has said that he cannot be extradited to any place and he has to be in America. That is the plea bargaining. So at present, the legal side, it's not possible. If there is any change in the law or the thing, I cannot say that. I can't actually, I've not seen the future, but I am saying present, it is not possible.
Right. Well, Loknath Behreji, really clearing the air as far as the extradition possible at all of David Coleman Headley is concerned, suggesting that legally it is not possible since David Headley has turned an approver for the US government. We've also got a reaction from Pakistan Foreign Ministry on Tahawwur Rana, his role in Pakistan and whether he had any connections with Pakistan or not. Let's listen in.
On the Tahawwur Rana issue, we have conveyed our position regarding his Canadian nationality. And as far as our record indicates, he did not even apply for renewal of his Pakistani origin documents for the last 2 decades. I reiterate position, we will give further updates in due course.
All right, Sudhakarji, there you have it. Pakistan suggesting he did not even try to relook at his documents as far as his Pakistani citizenship is concerned, and so therefore he remains a Canadian national. Whatever he did, whatever he is responsible for, that is not Pakistan's responsibility. But needless to say, after those attacks, there were statements made by Tahawwur Rana that people who died in those terror attacks should be given the highest national accolade in Pakistan. They should be facilitated. They should be honored for carrying out those dastardly attacks. Sudhakarji?
Is this question meant for me?
Yes.
maybe the audio somehow is not
Right.
clear. Okay.
No, I'm going to repeat the question, Sudhakarji. I think you just heard perhaps what Pakistan Foreign Ministry has to say, that Tahawwur Rana was not a national, not a Pakistani national. He did not make any attempt to renew his citizenship, and therefore he remained a Canadian national, and all his actions are his responsibility alone and not that of Pakistan. But needless to say, Tahawwur Rana time and again also talked about how the perpetrators of those dastardly 2811 attacks should in fact be given the highest citizenship accolade in Pakistan. They should be honored in Pakistan for carrying out those attacks.
Absolutely, Shweta. But if we look back, that's what the public memory is very short-lived. If we look back at that point in time, around 2611, for good length of time, Pakistan was lobbying to award each of these terrorists who have sacrificed for decorations, military decorations, level on the civil decoration. They're planning to give the military decoration. That was the pitch and the peak of, the momentum in Pakistan at that point in time. There is no denying the fact. Now, with regard to the comments of the official, I'm afraid, for lack of correct adage or proverb, what comes to my mind is victory has many fathers, defeat is an orphan. So here it is. When the situation is grim, when the things, they know that it is going to come down very heavily on Pakistan, because this is the ideal, this is the bottom rock kind of a milestone. If we have a breakthrough from Rana, wherein he is going to give us a very, very solid and concrete evidence pointing towards ISI and involvement of Pakistan Army. The Pakistan chief of the army staff was involved. His DGMO was controlling the operation. All these things have to come into picture. I'm sure the DG Kerala, Loknath ji, is interrogated Headley, so he will have lot of these details. He will be able to corroborate. But one thing, if I may, through you, Shweta, request you, Mr. Loknath brought out one point, that it is very important to also find out, did they have any other intent and objective other than the Taj Hotel? This I could make out because the audio was absolutely depressed. So if this answer to this question, because for you it may not be relevant, for me as a military general, it is very, very, implications are very serious. We need to investigate the answer to this question. If I may request the DG Kerala, Mr. Loknath ji, to kindly elucidate the answer to this question. Did they have any intent to carry out any attack? My answer is yes, but which all places?
Loknath Behere ji is not with us right now, Sudhakar ji. I think we've lost his connection, but I think that's a valid question. It's a valid question whether Mumbai was the only place they intended to attack, or whether other locations in other cities and other towns that these terrorists also looking to attack in future or during those course of events. I think something very important that he also pointed out, especially for me as I was understanding, is that David Coleman Headley, despite being the mastermind, he wasn't the facilitator. It was Tahawwur Rana who was the facilitator. So it was Rana perhaps who was responsible for orchestrating it, for planning it, and more importantly for funds flow through seamlessly. So where did the funding come from? Perhaps Tahawwur Rana will have a better answer, Sudhakar ji.
Absolutely. Shweta, bang on. I think one is the money laundering and the flow of the wealth, money coming into the hands, and how it has been allocated, distributed and expended. One is that. Primary source is important, but the intermediate agencies who are handling also is equally important. So that account flow is going to reveal a lot of information. Communication is another very important. It's, I think, there in the open media, number of calls, 266 or 311 odd calls this gentleman he made to Pakistan prior to this particular incident. And third and most important thing are the operatives in Pakistan. Who are the handlers? Who are the operatives? There would have been some insider in India without whose help this motley group of terrorists coming and launching an attack on a peacetime location, in a hotel, wouldn't have been possible. Who's this man who was guided? This needs to be found out. Was he a Pakistani? Was he a ISI agent who had actually come in as a sleeper cell, lying dogo for so many months and basically coordinating? Because one level is Rana's level. there is an intermediate level, and there is a tactical people who do the job on the ground, who actually, fine tune and coordinate. Who's this man on ground who was receiving information, translating all orders into action, making sure that the implementation, because this was a very thoroughbred, highly professional kind of a job for which the Pakistan army and its special forces would have been definitely involved, without any doubt. Back to you, Shweta.
Absolutely, and Pakistan army could have been involved. Perhaps we will know the extent of their involvement. We'll also get to know how many more players were responsible for orchestrating those dastardly attacks. Sudhakar ji, continue to be with us. We also have a reaction that has come in from Israeli ambassador to India on Tahawwur Rana's extradition. Listen into what he had to say.
We are encouraged to hear about the extradition to India of one of the perpetrators of the terrible and horrendous terrorist attacks that happened in Mumbai on the 26th of November 2008, which took the lives of more than 170 innocent civilians, including Israelis. I would like to thank the government of India for its persistence in bringing the terrorists to justice.
All right, there you have it. Israeli ambassador to India congratulating India for that successful extradition. Also, throwing some light on how many people really died, and also mentioning that it was also Israeli people, apart from being Indians, Americans, who lost their lives in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attack. Sudhakar ji, it's, as I mentioned, taking you back from the beginning. It's an important day. Perhaps Tahawwur Rana is here, but as far as David Coleman Headley is concerned, that is where the problem is. And Loknath ji was also pointing to why that will be important extradition, but may not come through at all, because legally it's not really possible to get David Coleman Headley. But never say never is what I've understood really in the larger scheme of things, especially when it comes to the US and the current ruling dispensation. I think the larger course of action now will be to ensure that David Coleman Headley is extradited to India.
Absolutely, Sweta. At one point in time, before Donald Trump came back to power or swung back to his 2.0 tenure, the entire America was of the opinion that Donald Trump, no way, there were a number of court cases, criminal cases, host of cases, and it was a no-go case. And finally, he's come back, he's bounced back with so much of popularity that for past 30-40 years there was no president of the USA who can match his level of popularity. So these are all momentary regulations, which I feel that rules and regulations are rules and regulations, but they are basically guidelines. If the necessity for rules-based international order is some semblance of peace and harmony, and the terrorism has to be tackled in earnest, I think we need to bend the rule, we need to revise. If it cannot be, if tariff can be imposed to the extent of 104% on a country like China, all over the world, the whole world is shaking with tariffs. And also, it has been subjected to a pause kind of a thing. I'm sure that Headley should not be a kind of a restriction. He has to be, this particular extradition must take place. How much of bending of rule is concerned, people need to go into the details. Being a military man, I am not alive or not competent enough to comment on this particular question, but I totally agree with the stance and the orientation of your question that there is a need. We need to divide on a couple of issues. The intent and the judgment. Intent was, this has to be re-established once the intent of causing disaster and mayhem and a massacre against the innocent civilians is fully established without any go back or any representation. I think the whole world should actually support India. Thanks to the ambassador of Israel. I met him a number of times. He's a bold leader. He's a person who actually fires the gun from his shoulder. I admire his articulations. We need more people like him. We need the support of Israel and America to get Headley back to extradited to India so that he's subjected to a fair trial. He will be given a chance to defend himself. But to bring the entire narrative to a close-ended kind of an outcome with no ambiguity anyway, our basic aim is what, Sweta? Basic aim is to prevent recurrence of these kind of atrocities and terrorist attack anywhere in the world in future. If that be the aim, then anything and everything required to achieve this particular aim should be put into effect, and we must put our heart and soul to get the Headley chap extradited to India for making him face the trial in Indian judiciary system. Back to you, Shweta.
Absolutely, Sudhakarji. I think the question was more on the lines of what is perhaps possible now. 17 years later, we finally have one of the prime accused of the case, Tahawwur Rana, being brought back to India. He will be questioned. More links will be established. More players will be recognized, identified, and perhaps be punished. They will meet the law of the land. But I think it's also important to be able to, understand whether we will be able to get David Coleman Headley back to India at some point of time or not. Legally, it may not be possible. Doesn't sound possible right now as far as the laws in the US is concerned. But you never know. With Donald Trump, perhaps India will be able to mitigate some of these challenges, will be able to arrive at a midpoint where David Coleman Headley will also be able to meet his fate in India. It's a significant day. We continue to track these developments very, very closely. Tahawwur Rana has landed in India. He has landed in the national capital and he will be now questioned by the NIA. A team of 12 people will have a very hard task ahead of them to understand Tahawwur Rana's position, to understand who he was in conversation with, what was his exact role in carrying out those dastardly attacks. He is the accused number 6 in the charge sheet that has been filed, and his role will be important to really put all the players in their place and understand the larger game when it comes to those dastardly attacks on Indian soil, attacks that killed more than 100 people, more than 300 people were injured. We continue to talk to experts, some of those survivors, to really understand how they feel right now and what could be the likely course of action ahead. We will be continuing this conversation. Time for a very short break now. Do stay tuned. We are giving you everything when it comes to the recent location of Tahawwur Rana. We are tracking his current position. We also have reporters on ground who are telling you what lies ahead for him, and also trying to get a sense of what kind of questions that he's likely to face by the NIA. Only on News9. We'll be back after this very short break.
I need expert performance. I need my career.
Smash your way to glory at the News9 Corporate Badminton Championship. Get ready for the ultimate badminton showdown. News9 presents the biggest corporate championship, a battle of skill, speed and supremacy. Cash prize of 6 lakh rupees across categories. Venue, Pulela Gopichand Badminton Academy, Hyderabad. Dates, May 9th to May 11th. A chance to showcase your talent and make a mark. The court is set. Are you ready? Register now.
Bharat welcomes the world to a new era of creativity. Waves, World Audio Visual and Entertainment Summit. Connecting creators through Creative Sphere. Wave Accelerator. Waves Bazaar.
Where stories, ideas and content go global.
Connecting countries through global media dialogue and Bharat Pavilion.
Shaping narratives and partnerships. Culture, cinema, gaming. Waves fuels the next wave of entertainment.
Connecting creators, connecting countries. Waves 2025.
Welcome back. Mumbai 26/11 terror attack accused Tahawwur Hussain Rana this afternoon at the Palam Technical Airport in the national capital. Rana is likely to be produced before a special NIA court at Patiala House Court in Delhi. According to government sources in India, a multi-agency team from India was deployed to the US to bring him back. All paperworks, legalities have now been completed with the US authorities, and he's here in India. This is a huge development. It comes just days after Rana's last resort attempt to evade extradition to India failed after the US Supreme Supreme Court denied his application, moving him closer to being handed over to the Indian authorities to face justice in his role in the dastardly attacks in India. Now, Tahawwur Rana is a Pakistani-born Canadian national. He migrated to Canada. He is one of the close associates of the main conspirator of the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks, David Coleman Headley, a US citizen. The central government has appointed a special public prosecutor, Narender Mann, for the trial in the 2611 case. Meanwhile, sources say that the trial court records related to the 2611 Mumbai terror attacks, which were called from Mumbai to Delhi at the end of January, have recently been received by the Patiala House Court. The trial court records are likely to be a part of the evidence that NIA will be building against Tahawwur Rana and David Coleman Headley as the prime accused in the case. Now, in January, Delhi's Patiala House Court recalled its trial court records and records which are related to Mumbai terror attacks following an application which was filed by NIA requesting their retrieval from Mumbai. Now, the latest that we also know is that Pakistan's first statement has come out related to Tahawwur Rana's extradition. Pakistan Foreign Office in a video statement said that Tahawwur Rana has not renewed his Pakistani documents in at least last 2 decades. He is a Canadian national and his Canadian nationality is very clear. So, in a way, shedding any responsibility that Pakistan may have in those dastardly attacks in Mumbai and distancing themselves from Tahawwur Rana right now. Now, Pakistan, of course, has distanced itself, given that Tahawwur Rana is and was a Pakistani Army ISI insider who will now spill the beans on Pakistan's direct role in conspiring in Mumbai terror attacks. Now, 4 vehicles of Delhi police have reached a Palam Technical Airport, and one of them has a jammer. An ambulance has also reached the spot. There are 2 safari vehicles with no number plates since Tahawwur Rana has reached Palam Technical Airport, but he hasn't really come out. A bomb disposal squad has also reached the spot. At least 12 people will be interrogating Tahawwur Rana in a special cell which was being built inside the NIA headquarters for that particular investigation. In fact, the investigation will be carried out on the 3rd floor of the NIA, and only 12 officers will be given access to that investigation cell. These will include the NIA DG Sadanand Datte, IG Ashish Batra and DIG Jaya Roy. A lot of reactions have since poured in. Let's quickly listen in.
कांग्रेस सरकार के समय हम जिस होटल में खड़े हैं, यहीं पर आतंकवादियों ने हमला किया था। ये होटल पे लोगों की जान गई थी, लेकिन कांग्रेस की सरकार ने कुछ किया नहीं आरोपियों के ऊपर सख्त सजा दिलाने के लिए, बल्कि जो पकड़ा गया था कसम उसको भी बिरयानी खिलाते थे। ये मोदी जी का दृढ़ संकल्प था कि जिन लोगों ने हमारी देश पर आंख उठाई उनको सख्त से सख्त सजा मिले, और आज हर भारतवासी को गर्व है मोदी जी पर। विशेषकर हम सब मुंबईकर कृतज्ञ हैं मोदी जी के कि ऐसे लोग जिन्होंने हमारे देश के ऊपर हिंसक आक्रामक हमला किया था, उनको हम भारत के धरती पर भारत के कानून के अंतर्गत सजा दिलाएंगे।
And that, of course, is Union Minister Piyush Goyal speaking on the extradition of Tahawwur Hussain, also suggesting how the investigation was stalled while the Congress party was in power. We are tracking all those details minute by minute here on News 9. Time for a short break. We'll be back with more details on the other side.
Smash your way to glory at the News9 Corporate Badminton Championship. Get ready for the ultimate badminton showdown. News9 presents the biggest corporate championship, a battle of skill, speed and supremacy. Cash prize of 6 lakh rupees across categories. Venue, Pulela Gopichand Badminton Academy, Hyderabad. Dates, May 9th to May 11th. A chance to showcase your talent and make a mark. The court is set. Are you ready? Register now.
Bharat welcomes the world to a new era of creativity. Waves, World Audio-Visual and Entertainment Summit. Connecting creators through Creatosphere. Wave Accelerator. Waves Bazaar.
Where stories, ideas and content go global.
Connecting countries through global media dialogue and Bharat Pavilion.
Shaping narratives and partnerships. Culture, cinema, gaming. Waves fuels the next wave of entertainment.
Connecting creators, connecting countries. Waves 2025.
What is to the nines? In literal terms, it's perfection. But to us, it's not just a phrase, it's an attitude. One that starts at your desk and sends a statement to the world. To the nines is about taking charge. It's a way of life where every scene, every fold, is crafted with excellence. It's timeless elegance and uncompromising quality made for the corner office. It's the ideas that inspire redefining order and elevating the tabletop. To the nines, for the leaders of today and the visionaries of tomorrow.
Every brand tells a story. And they are the storytellers, the Sutradhars. They present a brand with band, baja and barat to you. They are the Brandwalas.
आपके वक़्फ़ में एक भी नॉन मुस्लिम नहीं आएगा.
Waqf bill was passed by Rajya Sabha. Opposition parties had challenged the legislation in the Supreme Court. Can Muhammad Yunus be trusted because he met Prime Minister Modi? West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee met thousands of teachers and educators. Tahawwur said that it took 21 months for Bharatiya Janata Party to impose president rule in the state.
In a huge setback for bike taxi services in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu races ahead with 9.69% growth rate, India's fastest growing state this year. Good for Tamil Nadu. You may not be directly involved with what your son or daughter does, but your influence does. My name is Sudha Sadanand. Welcome to the South Indian.
What is to the nines? In literal terms, it's perfection. But to us, it's not just a phrase, it's an attitude. One that starts at your desk and sends a statement to the world. To the nines is about taking charge. It's a way of life where every scene, every fold, is crafted with excellence. It's timeless elegance and uncompromising quality made for the corner office. It's the ideas that inspire redefining order and elevating the tabletop. To the nines, for the leaders of today and the visionaries of tomorrow.
In the age of OTT platforms, to watch or not to watch, that's the question. Because you are what you watch. It's our review, but your choice to skip it or stream it. Hello and welcome. I'm Krishna Kumar. This is Skip It, Stream It.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Mumbai terror attack mastermind Tahawwur Rana is brought back to India. Rana is said to be taken to a secure location. Desperate Pakistan distances itself from Tahawwur Rana, says he has not renewed his Pakistani documents in the last 2 decades and that he is a Canadian national. Israel welcomes the extradition of terrorist Tahawwur Rana to India from the United States of America, thanks the Indian government for its persistence. The TMC warns Kirti Azad and Mahua Moitra for their chat leaks. TMC says strict disciplinary action will be taken if the leaders fail to restrain themselves. ADMK chief Edappadi Palaniswamy set to meet Union Home Minister Amit Shah in Chennai to finalize the alliance ahead of the state assembly elections next year. Senior Tamil Nadu BJP leaders to join this handshake meeting. In a stunning U-turn, Donald Trump announces a 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs for all nations except China. Global markets bounce back. Trump raises tariff on Chinese imports to 125%, hours after China boosted the duty on American goods to 84%, escalating the trade war between both the nations. The mastermind of the Mumbai terror attacks of 26/11, Tahawwur Rana, has been brought back to India, and that's our top focus here on News 9. And to talk all about it, I have with me in the studio Aditya Raj Kaul, our executive editor for Strategic Affairs. Aditya, thank you so much for being with us. Mumbai 26/11 terror attack accused and mastermind Tahawwur Hussain Rana landed this afternoon at the Palam airport in India's capital, Delhi. Rana is likely to be produced before a special NIA court at Patiala House in Delhi. Now, government sources in India say a multi-agency team from India was deployed to the US to bring him back. All paperwork and legalities have been completed with the US authorities. A hugely significant development coming just days after Rana's last resort attempt to evade extradition to India failed, after the US Supreme Court denied his application, moving him closer to being handed over to Indian authorities to face justice. Tahawwur Hussain Rana is a Pakistan-born Canadian national and a close associate of one of the main conspirators of the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks, David Coleman Headley, a US citizen. The central government has appointed special public prosecutor Narender Mann for trial in this case. Meanwhile, sources have revealed that the trial court records related to the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, which were called from Mumbai to Delhi at the end of January, have recently been received by the Patiala House Court in Delhi. The trial court records relate to the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks are likely to be part of the evidence in the NIA case, which names Tahawwur Hussain Rana and David Coleman Headley as the main accused. In January this year, Delhi's Patiala House Court recalled its trial court records related to the Mumbai attacks following an application filed by the NIA requesting their retrieval from Mumbai. Now, meanwhile, the first statement from Pakistan after Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India has come out. Pakistan's Foreign Office in a video statement said, and I quote, Tahawwur Rana has not renewed his Pakistani documents in the last 2 decades. His Canadian nationality is very clear, unquote.
On the Tahawwur Rana issue, we made a position regarding his Canadian nationality. And as far as our record indicates, he did not even apply for renewal of his Pakistani origin documents for the last 2 decades. I reiterate position, we will give further updates in due course.
Needless to say, Pakistan in its distanced itself from Tahawwur Rana. Pakistan is distancing itself because Tahawwur Rana is a Pakistan Army and ISI, Pakistan's intelligence service insider, who will now spill the beans on Pakistan's direct role in conspiring the terror attacks of 26/11 in Mumbai. Let's also now listen to what India's Union Minister Piyush Goyal had to say.
कांग्रेस सरकार के समय हम जिस होटल में खड़े हैं, यहीं पर आतंकवादियों ने हमला किया था। ये होटल पे लोगों की जान गई थी, लेकिन कांग्रेस की सरकार ने कुछ किया नहीं आरोपियों के ऊपर सख्त सजा दिलाने के लिए, बल्कि जो पकड़ा गया था कसम उसको भी बिरयानी खिलाते थे। ये मोदी जी का दृढ़ संकल्प था कि जिन लोगों ने हमारी देश पर आंख उठाई उनको सख्त से सख्त सजा मिले, और आज हर भारतवासी को गर्व है मोदी जी पर। विशेषकर हम सब मुंबई कर कृतज्ञ हैं मोदी जी के कि ऐसे लोग जिन्होंने हमारे देश के ऊपर हिंसक आक्रामक हमला किया था, उनको हम भारत के धरती पर भारत के कानून के अंतर्गत सजा दिलाएंगे।
We are encouraged to hear about the extradition to India of one of the perpetrators of the terrible and horrendous terrorist attacks that happened in Mumbai on the 26th of November 2008, which took the lives of more than 170 innocent civilians, including Israelis. I would like to thank the government of India for its persistence in bringing the terrorists to justice.
बड़ा आतंकी हमला हुआ था 26/11 को 2008 में, और उसमें आपको मालूम है कितने निरपराध लोग मारे गए थे, कितने अपने पुलिस बांधव मर गए थे, उसमें कई जवान शहीद हो गए थे। खुशी की बात आई है कि तहव्वुर राना जैसा एक 26/11 का मास्टरमाइंड का मददगार वो भारत में आ रहा है। तो मेरी एक विनती है सरकार से कि जल्द से जल्द उसको फांसी होनी चाहिए।
Tahawwur Rana is our big focus here on News9, and to talk more about it, we have my colleague Aditya Rajkot, Executive Editor Strategic Affairs, with me in the studio. We also have Ambassador Prabhu Dayal, former Indian diplomat, also joining us on the broadcast. Ambassador Prabhu Dayal, thank you so much for being with us. I'll quickly just come to you. Let me first get in the reaction from our very own Aditya Rajkot. Aditya, Pakistan desperate, trying to distance itself using excuses like, Tahawwur Rana is not even a Pakistani citizen anymore. But where was Tahawwur Rana from? I mean, Pakistan really has nothing to say at this stage.
Well, Tahawwur Rana was from Pakistan and has been a part of the Pakistan Army. He has served as a captain in the Pakistan Army's Medical Corps and has been all through an ISI man. He's a deeply radicalized and motivated person against India. He wanted to launch terror attacks against India, against Indian Army, against Indian security establishment, and that's why he was very deeply involved in this conspiracy of Mumbai 26/11. Now, Tahawwur Rana is not some small fry who was only giving forged documents and visas to David Coleman Headley, his childhood friend, but he was deeply entrenched in this entire conspiracy against India and was as equally involved as any other member of Lashkar-e-Toiba or the Pakistan ISI. What Tahawwur Rana's entire extradition to India really means is, one, of course, the diplomatic win. On the other hand, the India-US strategic partnership and cooperation, which has now gone to another level, with Trump himself announcing the extradition during Prime Minister Modi's visit to the White House. And now, with his landing in New Delhi, he will be taken for his custodial interrogation after his court appearance. and there the grilling will begin. He will have to answer a lot of questions. He will have to build the entire chain of sequence of how the entire conspiracy of the Mumbai 26/11 was happening. What was the role of people like Sajid Mir and Major Iqbal, and also David Coleman Headley. He is likely to reveal names of a lot of Pakistan Army and ISI officials who were involved in the Mumbai 26/11 attacks, and he is, he is a key witness to this entire saga, in this entire case, and it's likely that the NIA would seek his death sentence or and life imprisonment. It depends on the kind of assurances that India would have given US, and depending on his, he's a Canadian citizen. Death penalty is banned, but of course in India it isn't banned. So we'll have to wait and watch how the trial progresses. But it is a big catch for the Indian agencies. The NIA, the Mumbai police and the RNAW have worked night and day in the last 17 years to make this day happen.
It's a momentous occasion. It's a very important day that has been in the making for more than a decade and a half. We also have defense and geopolitics expert joining us on the broadcast, Major Lakshmi Sivas. Thank you so much for being with us. Let me first take this across to Ambassador Prabhu Dayal. Ambassador Prabhu Dayal, the entire process of extradition, any normal extradition itself is extremely complicated and requires great levels of diplomacy from two nations. And in this particular case, this is a big signal that is coming in from the US with the extradition of Tahawwur Rana to India. That if there are more, then they too will be extradited.
Yes, indeed, you're absolutely right. In fact, Aditya Raj Kaul very correctly said that this is a very big diplomatic win for India. And he pointed out that it shows the sort of relationship which now exists between India and the United States. And he correctly highlighted the fact that President Trump himself made this announcement relating to the extradition of Tahawwur Rana, and it shows that the United States is going to be extremely cooperative in this regard. And you're right, perhaps we may be able to get more people extradited. Now, it is also a very big development in terms of the sort of evidence which will now come tumbling out when the trial of Tahawwur Rana takes place. Evidence which will clearly establish the direct involvement of Pakistan's ISI. Of course, this involvement has been beyond doubt. It has been well documented. In the trial of Ajmal Kasab, we were able to get a lot of pointers which indicated that there was a direct involvement of the Pakistan government. But Tahawwur Rana was a key part of this chain which connected David Coleman Headley with the ISI. In fact, he was the go-between. I may mention that according to the reports which I have seen, during his several trips to India, David Coleman Headley made a number of telephone calls to Tahawwur Rana, who was in the United States, because through Rana he was coordinating action with the ISI. In other words, Tahawwur Rana was the link between David Coleman Headley, who was masterminding the operations here in India, and the ISI. So the evidence which will come tumbling out when the trial of Tahawwur Rana takes place will be extremely vital in piecing together all the details regarding how the ISI carried out this operation, the extent of its involvement, the manner of its involvement, and whether there were some dangerous Indian elements also. Because it is not unlikely that there were some conspirators from within India.
Absolutely.
So, I can say that there are a lot of calls in the country that he should be very quickly executed. Tahawwur Rana should be very quickly executed. I would disagree. I think that our agencies should be able to get all the evidence out from him, because he will contain a whole lot of evidence. He is an encyclopedia of evidence. So we should get everything out from him, and it is very, very vital that we should be able to have him put on trial and testify in particular regarding the role of the Pakistan intelligence. Now, I may also point out that Pakistan is already in denial mood. They are the biggest deniers of all evidence which is pointed
Ambassador
out.
Prabhu Dayal, fair point you make. Pakistan is in denial mode. We know that. We will talk about that more. But there's a very important point you just made about the kind of information that could come from the interrogation of Tahawwur Rana, Major General Ashwani Sivach, and that's a crucial point, isn't it? You have to conduct this interrogation as exhaustively as possible so you can get every single piece of information from Tahawwur Rana.
Absolutely. See, Krishna, Tahawwur Rana is one of the main, you can say actor and character in this whole episode. Now, Tahawwur Rana was rightly brought out that he was a Pakistani army officer who was a doctor, and then he went to Canada. He became a Canadian citizen. He has a dual citizenship of Canada and also Pakistan. Now, the point is that he was the one who was running an immigration law center in Chicago, and he's the one then opened another one as a shadow lead center at Mumbai. He is the one who got the recce conducted of the day. He is the one who selected the target, and jointly with David Headley, then they have planned for it, and then it was given to ISI. Then ISI has made a master plan as to how this complete operation has to be executed. Now, till now, Pakistan has been always claiming that there is no direct involvement of ISI or Pakistan Army. It was only, you can say, non-state action. One, David Headley has also given a confession when before he has become a approver in US, he is also given that Tahawwur Rana is the main culprit, and also number of actors and characters of Lashkar-e-Toba and ISI like Major Iqbal and Majid Mari were also involved. Now, Tahawwur Rana coming to India, he will spill the beans. Now, he will openly convey to the system that as to how ISI was involved, how Pakistan Army was involved. Now, we have sent dozier almost about 35 times, and Pakistan refused to take action. The another very important thing which is come is that overground worker and sleeper cell which were functioning within India, they one which were helping them. Now, that is the biggest, fit which we want to catch it. Who are the enemies of the country within our own country? And that is where you will find it. He will play a major role. And also to bring down two people, that Hafiz Saeed and Lakwi, because they were the main culprit of Lashkar-e-Toba who masterminded it as on today. Both are in Pakistan. Now the point is there will be a huge pressure internationally. Now they must be sent to India and they must face the law.
All right, we will leave it at that. Major General Ashwani Sivach and Ambassador Prabhu Dayal and my colleague Aditya Rajkol, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us on that big story that we're tracking here on News 9. And with that, we are taking a very short breather. We'll be back with lots more on the other side. Keep it with News 9.
I need expert performance. I need my career.
Smash your way to glory at the News9 Corporate Badminton Championship. Get ready for the ultimate badminton showdown. News9 presents the biggest corporate championship, a battle of skill, speed and supremacy. Cash prize of 6 lakh rupees across categories. Venue, Pulela Gopichand Badminton Academy, Hyderabad. Dates, May 9th to May 11th. A chance to showcase your talent and make a mark. The court is set. Are you ready? Register now.
Bharat welcomes the world to a new era of creativity. Waves, World Audiovisual and Entertainment Summit. Connecting creators through Creative Sphere. Wave Accelerator. Waves Bazaar.
Where stories, ideas and content go global.
Connecting countries through global media dialogue and Bharat Pavilion.
Shaping narratives and partnerships. Culture, cinema, gaming. Waves fuels the next wave of entertainment.
Connecting creators, connecting countries. Waves 2025.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News9, English news as it should be.
You're watching News9. I'm Krishna Kumar, and we put the focus now on the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu, where ahead of the state assembly elections due early next year, the principal opposition in the state, AIADMK and the BJP, are inching closer towards finalizing an alliance. BJP leader Annamalai is set to meet with India's Union Home Minister Amit Shah. But what we're also picking up is that AIADMK chief Edappadi Palaniswamy will also meet Union Home Minister Amit Shah in